Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Pretty lackluster UFC 276, if I'm honest. Not as great as the last couple of fight cards have been, but not terrible. Just kind of some dominating performances. Start the the card off. Julia Starlarenko versus Jessica Rose Clark. I thought Rose Clark would be able to outpoint her volume, and Starlienko did really good in getting Rose Clark down early and submitting her. She did really good. Jessica I is so bad. She's very tough. I'll definitely give her credit there. But Macy Barber just looked so damn good. Excuse my dog for barking. Bunch of fireworks and shit going off. And then you got Andre Muniz versus Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall I thought would have moments, and he was kind of really dominated by the grappling by Muniz. And it's basically what I picked. I just thought Uriah Hall would have times where he would really go for it and Munoz would get him down or had to weather it a little bit. It wasn't really anything to weather there. Great win for Munoz. Duplessis versus Brad Tavares. I thought Tavares looked very good in this fight. I actually had him up. I think I had him winning 1-3 or 1-2, something like that. I think 1-2, but definitely the first round. Herp Duplessis a couple of times in that first round, but the chin on Brad Tavares really kept him in this fight. It was a crazy back and forth fight. Credit to Duplessis for sure. He did a very good job of mixing up his game, but he needs to fix his crazy ass style. Oh my goodness. And then we go to Iangary versus Gabriel Green. I thought Iangary's movement and his sniping ability in this fight would really lead him to a win, and that's really exactly what happened. Great win for Iangary. Kind of just completely picked Gabriel Green apart. And then Jim Miller versus my favorite fighter of all time, Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone looked damn good tonight. The thing that happened in this fight, you can see it. Go back and watch the first fight. Is Cowboy was all over Jim Miller in that fight, and Cowboy just wasn't all over Jim Miller in this. He looked really good when he would fight, but it was a little bit too much of hesitate, fire. Caught him with the head kick. I thought he knocked Cerrone down. He did not, but Cowboy hit Jim Miller with a head kick, got off balance, and then Jim Miller jumped on a guillotine. Beautiful guillotine. Cowboy submitted, and Cowboy Cerrone retired. It sucks, but Hall of Fame career. People are just gonna realize these last couple fights, but that's just not who Cowboy is. Then I hope everybody understands that when you fight as much as Cowboy did, for as long as he did, and as much as he had done in a pretty short amount of time, to be honest, you're gonna fall out of love with something. He was always fighting, always taking short notice fights. It just is what it is. Hall of Fame career for Cowboy Cerrone. Come at me. And then Jalen Turner, Brad Riddle. Exactly how I thought the fight was going to play out. Brad Riddle would be surprised on the power and the speed of Turner. He's super long, and I knew that would cause Brad Riddle some problems, and it did. Stung Riddle early, had him shooting, and then Jalen Turner got a guillotine. It was nasty guillotine. Great win for Jalen Turner. Such a big, underrated, I think, win for him. People aren't going to realize how big that is. Pedro Munoz, Sean O'Malley. I don't care what anyone says. Pedro Munoz was winning this fight. Sean O'Malley really didn't have any answer for the game plan of what Pedro Munoz was doing. He was winning. Got eye poked. It happened a couple of times. This wasn't the first time it had happened in this fight. I think it was one other time. And fight was a no contest, accidental eye poke. I don't know why they didn't go to scorecards because it's midway through the second round. I don't know. And then Brian Barbarian and Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler came out, looked so damn good. The one thing with this fight was Brian Barberina's cardio and his chin. Would he be able to take the punishment from Robbie Lawler? And he showed that he got stung multiple times. Robbie looked really good. He looked good, bobbing, weaving, getting rid of these moving his head away from these punches and stuff. Not everything was hitting flush, but it just started to take a toll on him. I mean, he's 40 years old, and it was relentless from Brian Barberina. He wasn't throwing everything super heavy until he had Robbie hurt. And I think the elbows, again, like the commentator was talking about, that's really what hurt him. So great job for Brian Barberina. Crazy fight. And then Alex Pereira, Sean Strickland. I don't know why Sean Strickland was literally kickboxing with Pereira. I thought Strickland, if he was going to stand with him, he would have to overwhelm him, not just, jab. I'll jab, you jab. I'll go, you go. I'll go, you go. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So, Sean Strickland played that one the worst way you could have played it. I mean, he literally gifted Pereira. You can't give a seasoned striker like that big of an opportunity in those reads like he did multiple times. Pereira was going to take it every single time. And then Alexander Volkanovski, I did a recap on this on my channel. Volkanovski dominated, and then Israel Adesanya dominated Jared Cannonier. As always, hit that subscribe button. You know what it is.